and Mr. Richmond Caliulio.
Good evening and welcome to this webinar, Event Masterclass 2.0, Fundamentals of Virtual Event and Sponsorship. We are so happy to have you. Let us kick off the program with a prayer, followed by the singing of the national anthem, led by Miss Alanis Dakigan. Good evening and welcome.
Let's bow our heads and put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Father, we offer everything to you during this seminar. We praise you for this event and your purpose for it. Thank you for every seat that has been filled here today, for each mind and heart that feels the presence of this room. We thank you. Come speak your words of life into our beings. We pray that you would deepen our comprehension, broaden our thinking, and transform our understanding of what we are about to study. Your generous blessing would mean the success of the seminar. We know that without it, we can do nothing. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw. May dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwal, hatid pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you, Ms. Dakigan, for your soulful rendition of the national anthem. Now, for the opening remarks, let's have Mr. Dom John Bison.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Uh, who could have thought that what should have been several months of pandemic would become year-long? And how sure are we that this crisis will end soon? In these trying times, we need to help each other in lifting each other up. A lot of events, company programs, and even businesses halted of the. But should we back down? Should we lose hope? We, the Events Masterclass 2.0 of aplustechvoc Incorporated, would like to welcome you to our webinar entitled Fundamentals of Virtual Event and Sponsorship. With this, we would like to present to you a webinar that would help us in standing on our own feet and continuing what we thought was difficult to surpass in these times. Although it is not the same as before and as easy as it seems, this webinar is a wake-up call that says we can do it. Events are still possible. As early as now, I would like to thank all of you for being here, the speakers, the audience and listeners who are here with us tonight. the Aplus administrators, as well as the batch 2 of events management services who organized and made this event possible. May everyone be guided, enlightened, and be able to acquire new learnings and new knowledge from this webinar. Thank you and enjoy this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Bison, for those awakening, welcoming remarks. And now, allow me to introduce you to one of our respected guests. Our first resource speaker is an event strategist par excellence. He holds a bachelor's degree in business administration, major in marketing management, and is currently working on his MBA at the prestigious San Beda University. An independent wedding planner from 2013 to 2018, he currently teaches wedding coordination for those who want to learn how to organize wedding projects. Since 2019, he has been the country manager at the Target Advertising and Marketing, an event and exhibition company with offices in India, UK, Middle East, China, and the Philippines. He was also a member of the Philippine Association of Convention Exhibition Organizers and Suppliers from 2015 to 2018, and the Certified Event Management Professional by Cevent USA. His previous work experiences include being an event coordinator, event venue management, such as ASMX, WTC, Conrad, and Okada, at Phil Asian Gaming Expo, the leading gaming expo in the Asia Pacific region from 2019 to 2021. Just last year, he became part of the virtual platform technical team for the first hybrid event in the Philippines, PTEX 2020. Moreover, he has successfully launched trade shows and mall events activations for Snail White, Singapore Airlines, Crimson Hotel, Nippon Paint, Solina Resort, Gulu Gulu Philippines, Samsung, and Unilever. Also, Department of Agriculture, Department of Tourism, Tourism Promotions Board, Mactan Cebu International Airport, and CHESA for their event and booth activation projects in the Philippines, Japan, Australia, and Thailand. Extending his expertise as consultant and strategist, he is presently working on government bidding projects related to events, advertising, and interior architecture for startup and well-established companies. To our distinguished guests, I am pleased to welcome Mr. Juanito Gabais III, our first resource speaker. Hi, sir.
Hello. Thank you so much for that kind of introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Shout out to our from Google Meet, Facebook, and YouTube. And yes, we are excited about the questions you guys gonna bring to the table. Once again, I'm third, and I'm gonna talk about the fundamentals of virtual event. And you know, guys, since then, I've been in love with events, whether it's personal or corporate, especially events that contribute to the nation. Next slide, please. And just wanna manage your expectation, guys. My strength is not on the concert, sport, or lifestyle events, but I'm more into business events. I just had an experience in wedding because back then I had to financially support the studies of my two sisters, and the first opportunity that came to me is wedding. And if managing an event is also your passion and you are doing it to financially support your family, know that, guys, I'm so proud of you. Hindi madali mag-organize ng event. It's one of the busiest jobs in the world. Yeah, so I had a corporate job, but I was also doing wedding coordination projects. I was able to work in an event and exhibition company wherein I get a chance to execute my first international project at Okinawa, Japan, wherein we had a booth activation event there. We helped the Mactan Cebu International Airport to promote their airport to airline business owners so that Filipinos, particularly Cebuanos, will no longer travel to Manila before flying to their international destination. And thank God because it did well. And doon na nagtuloy-tuloy. They sent me also to Bangkok, Thailand and Brisbane, Australia to help the government promote the Philippines through exhibition as destination for international events and leisure travel. Kaya meron tayong APAC, ASEAN, and Miss Universe because of the government who continuously promoting Philippines as international event. Ayan, I launched Gulu Gulu, wherein I invited bloggers, brand ambassadors to amplify the message we have for the company. Also, I was part of the virtual platform team of the first hybrid event in the Philippines, which is FITEX 2020. I'm also doing creatives, advertising, etc. But I'm not gonna focus on that. Yeah, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Ayan. So I'm gonna officially start my talk, and I want to start it by showing you this slide. Sorry. At the left side, can you go back to the live and virtual event, please? Oh, yeah, there you have it. At the left side, you guys are seeing live events, and I know you guys also miss that, like me. Sobrang miss na miss ko yung event. The experience, the fun, the vibe, being with a lot of people, seeing a lot of entertainment. I'm sure you really miss that. But unfortunately, the events industry got a total shutdown from the half of 2020, wherein a lot of companies temporarily shut down their operation, and a lot of event professionals lost their job. But on the third to fourth quarter of 2020, we saw the rise of virtual events. Ayan. Yes, we can't replace the experience in live events, but we saw the potential of virtual event as a tool to bring value to our participants at this time of pandemic. So if you are an event entrepreneur or startup event organizer or an event educator, I'm gonna give you the reason why you have to vote to virtual event and why you have to start educating your students about this. Okay, so next slide, please. So guys, I'll share you my technique when I'm pitching my ideas or concept to a client or to my boss, whether small or big event, and I want to answer their why. I always start it with data. It's good that we know the principle and technical know-how of event management, but guys, listen, clients are wiser than before. Maybe what you propose is really fantastic, ang ganda, ang daming ganap, but will this be needed based on what's happening today? Show them the data because they cannot go against it. They actually love that you have done intense research, especially in virtual events. Pre and post event data is everything. Based on the data, it helps them decide if they will continue or not, or at what time is the best to launch an event, or what will be the strategy for this. And because of the data, we can give recommendation like if the topic will benefit the participants or not. So yes, why you need to vote to virtual event? Because based on the industry audit, according to Event MB, 53% of event professionals are comfortable or savvy when it comes to virtual event tech. And this year, I believe it got actually into 70%. So if you are not belong on the 70%, you gotta hurry. No, baka kasi napag-iiwanan ka na. The largest portion, next naman is the largest portion of event professional, which is 41.5%, are willing to pay to 250,000, only more than 70,000 pesos. So it's a good basis if you're gonna cost out your virtual event project. If you are a startup, it's okay to start a project with a low contract amount. Just build your portfolio until such time that you can, shout that, hey, I'm also doing virtual event, whether wedding, milestone, lifestyle event, etc. Ayan. Next is 67% of respondents agree that hybrid is the future of events, and 71% said that they would continue to employ a digital strategy even after live events return. So guys, yes, the best pa rin ang live event, but in the new normal wherein we are restricted on the number of participants kasi the venue only allowed these 100, 300 or 500 participants at a time. Pero paano kung it's a concert? It's a convention, trade show. As organizer, 'di ba, we are earning through these numbers. Are these 100, 300, 500 participants, attendees can be able to pay buyers listed as a millions? No. So yeah, for event entrepreneur there, you have to pivot to virtual hybrid events so you can also expand your reach and attendees. You would be able to attract sponsors that could financially support you. And for event educator, it would be best to teach also virtual events so that our students would be able to have the same leverage with their competitors and be competitive enough when they face their competitors and when they start penetrating the event market like others, like their competitors, diba? They can also give options, not just live event but as well as virtual event and hybrid event. And lastly, 58% of virtual event professionals offer both apps and web-based ways to access the virtual event. No? In target advertising and marketing, we are using now event text for automated registration payment, chatbot for inquiries, and other activities inside our mobile app. Yeah, which can give our participants a seamless and smooth experience. And at the right part of the slide, you are seeing a data about Zoom. Imagine the upsurge there kung paano umangat yung line. They started 70 million plus at the beginning of the year and ended for 120 million in November. Diba? In same year. It's because of the number of usage for online meetings, online classes, or online conference. Now, based on this data, what will be your decision? Will you pivot to virtual events? If yes, I agree with you. There is a future in virtual events. If not, please see this. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah, so there's a lot of technology trends that can shape what will be the event experience should look like. And as you can see, there's a rise of digital content here. Kasi everyone is or will be a video. Percent use YouTube, 74% Instagram, 68% use Snapchat. Also TikTok, di ba? 100. And guys, the users of TikTok are not using a high-grade video editing. They just use the functions of this app to produce a digital content. No, the digital content that they are producing got a lot of views. Diba? Thousands of millions of views. Imagine that. So think of it. Maybe your participants are currently consuming digital content now. And virtual event is all about producing a digital content. No, what we are doing now is I'm presenting a digital content, and then after this webinar, a recorded copy will be uploaded in Facebook, and that's also a digital content. Diba? And again, maybe your future participants are currently, as in now, consuming a digital content. So we understand now the why. Now let's go to how. So for 2021, how can you pivot to virtual event? So guys, virtual event is a strategy, and you should have a good tactics for it to be a good one. And first tactic is the approach form. You get to know what's going on, the minds of your participants, what are the benefits sa pag-attend ng event mo, bakit sila attend sa event mo, And if you are able to identify, you will know also how to approach them with the right content and platform. And because it is tailor-fitted sa gusto ng client mo, they will interest them to join. For example, in FITEX, dito sa event namin last year, we have 3 attendee segments. And you know guys, this event happened last September 2020 at Panglao, Bohol, where we gathered tour operators, travel agencies, airlines, and hotels. And the 3 segments there, I mean the type of participants are the foreign participants, local participants, and general public. So the foreign participants, they want to experience what the country can offer as a tourism destination so that they would be able to sell Philippines as tourist destination to their clients in their country. Kaso paano? Pandemic, di ba? Next is yung local participants. They want to sell services and packages and earn revenue at times of pandemic. Ito din, how? These are the tour operators, travel agencies, airlines, and hotels. So how can they meet their foreign clients for cross-border partnerships? And lastly, the general public, they want to be educated in current situation of the tourism sector. Our question also for this is paano na last year, COVID recovery facility pa din ang PITC, WTC, and SMX. Close pa din yung mga venue na mga hotel. So that's where our virtual platform came in so that they're able to organize an event virtually. So travel restriction, no problem. Physical distancing, no problem. Yeah. So next slide, please. So based on the information, based on the insights of the attendees that you gathered, you get to choose what approach you need to do. Is it real time, like what we are doing? Recast, like the post recorded video of this webinar na minimally edited para it would appear like what's happening in the real time? Or is it pre-recorded, which is the safest, approach where you can edit to make sure it is flawless? No, and it is made available for viewing at any time gusto ng participant nyo. Kaya tinawag din siyang video on demand. So now let's take a look at today's video landscape. Many of these technologies are familiar terms, but it wasn't easy to understand. No, like what are key differences? Ano ang pinagkaiba ng virtual conferences, video conferencing at webinars? Are these the same thing? But to outline a little bit in depth, video conferencing, you might use that for a two-way conversation. Everyone in the platform are able to speak, are able to share the screen. No? It is impactful with audiences about 50 people. Pero here in the Philippines, sometimes we prefer to have 30 lang or minsan 20 na nga lang. Why? Because there's a dog barking outside, yung mga tilaok ng manok. I know guys, nakaka-relate kayo sa akin kasi somehow you already experienced it. Also there's sometimes we hear na yung kapitbahay ng kasama natin ay nagbi-video But ang funny kasi there's a weird background song while he is talking. And there's really a lot of distractions. Next is webinars. Webinar technology is widely based on video conferencing, but in a large number of participants, like 500,000. But the quality is not like satisfactorily. So that's where live streaming comes in. So live streaming is scalable to 10,000s or more, and there's a flexibility in production standpoint. So if you want to change the layout, you can do so. You will not be boxed in speakers on live or presentation on live like you are with webinars and video conferencing. In virtual conference, it can host more than one session, multiple content. There's a virtual exhibitors something like that. For example, in FITEX 2020, we have meeting agendas, games, social feed, chat function, exhibitors, and sponsors. In event management website or app, it is used to promote your event, manage your people, registration, payment system, and etc. So next slide, please. So just a reminder to make your content short but straight to the point. The more concise and direct your content can be, the better. Avoid comments. The engagement span of this webinar, according to a study, is just 2 hours. Note of that. So the key here is to keep the topic to 30 minutes. Don't ask anyone to tune in for more than 3 hours. Keep question and answer to 20 minutes or less, and keep breakouts or deep dives to 10 to 20 minutes. We usually use breakout or deep dives for masterclass or industry conference, organ focus discussion group, FDG, wherein after the talk, the participants will share their thoughts about the topic based on their professional experience. Okay, and next slide, please. Another thing that you have to consider is the internet speed. No, we are not in the first world where this never be a problem. I had an experience that the client wanted to have a simulation of SMX in the event so that people would feel they are inside the actual venue. But we identified that, their participants will come from far-flung areas, provinces with very limited area. If we are going to simulate SMX, gagayahin natin yung structure ng SMX, and then we will inject it in the virtual platform, it will require a huge internet bandwidth, and the participants might have difficulty in accessing it. So we discourage them. So you've got your content approach. Now, it's time to choose the platform that make your event possible. So for the platform, first is the webinar and conference platform. So there, some of the technology here started a tool for video conference, expanded to webinar, and the exact example for that is Zoom. We also have GoToWebinar, Cisco WebEx, Adobe Connect, Microsoft Teams, On24, and Google Meet, which you can explore just to make sure they have live and pre-recorded video streaming, mobile accessibility, chat messaging, file sharing capabilities, shared screen, breakout room, conference registration, automated reminders, Q&A, engagement. Sa inyo kanina that data is everything for virtual features, backgrounds, virtual event. Next slide, please. So, virtual event platforms, they try to create the in-person live event experience. Kung ano ang na-experience mo sa live event, you will also experience that in digital space through a virtual event platform. That's why you are seeing here simulation of lobby, exhibition hall, and then conference room. In the Philippines, we have 3 well-known event platforms, the Waveplay Interactive. Usually they are used for FMCGs or fast-moving consumer goods brands like Coca-Cola, Sprite, Pepsi, etc. For event extra naman, ginagamit siya ng mga event giants in the trade show industry. And for Target, this is usually used for governments. Ayan. So next. And they inventing what should look like, the features, functionality, and the aesthetics. So there's an evolution from webinar solution platform to virtual event solutions. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the eventers also, sorry. So yeah, the event managers also they want to expand their events reach. So the live stream comes in. So we identified three channels: Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just want to have a quick comparison on this for the tools. For FB and YouTube, you just need a smartphone, laptop, and account. For IG, smartphone lang with your account. Next is yung key feature. There's a lot of key features in these three channels, but for Facebook we have metrics. At YouTube we have live captions. I think we also have live captions in Facebook as well. At filter out comments containing offensive words or emojis. And guys, you gotta look on the chat or them which you may encounter or the pitfalls. At Facebook, negative comments from any viewer are visible to the entire audience in the video. At YouTube naman, at least 1,000 subscribers to go live on a mobile phone. But thanks to the third-party hardware or software encoders kasi possible na rin siya. At IG naman, those have to be recorded on smartphones. They can't be imported kasi from other devices. As to number of participants, can accommodate events of any size. And this live stream experience shall not be done by simply sharing your screen. As event manager, you have to do it creatively. And we will do it a little bit more interesting. And to do that, we will use live stream production tools. Sorry, can you go back? Yeah. So if you are a game streamer, you are already familiar with these tools and you already seen it for a long time. So we have here Social Live, OBS with the OBS which the organizer of these webinar. Yan, shout out sa ating mga technical team dyan. Are you still having fun? Ayan. Next is yung Wirecast, StreamYard, TouchCast, Restream, Stage 10, and TV. A lot of these tools are for gaming, but now they are evolving, serving different industries, especially events. No, this to do dynamic switching, spotlighting to up level the experience. And next slide please. And next is the creativity and interface. Ayan, going online means bringing your company design and branding into a digital space. Always remember the design and layout of your virtual event can make a huge difference in creating a set that feels inviting and informative, and most importantly, makes your content attractive. So there's such a term, Zoom fatigue. You can avoid it by making their eyes keep moving, keep reading, or their ears keep hearing. In FITEX 2020, the live event venue is also want to bring that concept in the virtual space. So we proposed an island interface. Kaya because Bohol is round, but since the name of the event is Philippine Travel Exchange, we inject different destinations from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, wherein each destination has a function. For example, if they click sponsor, they will be seeing a list of sponsors with their products and company profile. If they click event feed, they will be redirected. They can post a picture or give likes, comments, and another way to brand your event is through webinar frames. Ayan, which is yung nakikita nyo sa baba. Diba? It looks more professional than a regular frames. So when you are branding your virtual event, please consider also these three so your event will have a positive recall. Next slide, please. Yan, brand your event in a way na gusto mong maalala ka ng participants mo. Elements are the look and feel. No, it's important to remain consistent in your design approach. If your theme is minimalist, of course, don't put too much elements. If futuristic, don't make it rugged like the industry or rustic concept. We also have design approach like pop culture, modern, and sustainable, like putting some green or tropical plants as your key elements, and as well as vectors like geographical shapes, etc. And next is yung graphic identity naman that matches the mood and tone of your event to make it more consistent sa ating design approach. When I was working as creative director of an event, all the designs, whether kung saan man yan nila gagamitin, dapat fina-follow nila yung mood board, yung font style, and yung color palettes namin. Kasi kung hindi, it will be rejected. And next is responsive design. It means that your event website and promo materials will look good in all devices, whether the participant is using a phone, a tablet, a monitor, or desktop. Hindi siya distorted or misarranged. Especially sa Facebook, there's such a thing called safe area for cover photo kasi nagbabago yung ratio niya pag tinitingnan mo siya sa laptop to compare to mababago siya kapag tingnan mo siya sa laptop, no, at mobile phone. Ayan. So we already covered the approach, the platform, and the creatives. Now think about how to keep viewers interested throughout your online event. So first is conversation. It is very important to establish participation of your attendees. No, talk to them, ask them, and paano natin yan gagawin is simply by pooling. No, 81.8% of virtual event organizers use event pooling to improve interaction. It can be also your data, so you can improve your content. And the participants also love that. No, I saw a poll nga before about Valentine's at the pandemic. Now, what if dating is not allowed? I saw that, 60% give flowers na lang, 30% said chocolates, 10% said na they will just save the money and video call na lang muna since pandemic, no? So, interest in that. And also the Q&A, question and answer, which we will do it later. A social feed in Facebook, people like, comment, and share. And so, it's very important to come up with a fun challenge that aligns with event content and give out prizes para may nagpupush sa kanila to engage. And next is gamification. It's a fun way for people to interact with each other remotely and an opportunity to entertain them as well. There's a free game-based platform which you can use like Kahoot, Kinakabouts, categories, and etc. And you can also use a virtual roulette. It is usually used for sponsored raffles. No, and you can get it for free from tools-unite.com, tasktools.net, or fortunewheel.com. So as you can see, guys, this is our virtual platform na ginamit namin for FITEX, where our participants can do different activities or functions like reception, event feed, attendees profile, program speakers, virtual tours, exhibitors, meetings, games, lounge, and breakout rooms. And guys, believe it or not, we got 84,000 engagements from our participants in just 3 days. The good thing with virtual event is you can monitor your activity. What are they clicking? what are they viewing, and what are they saying. And during that event, guys, the participants are still engaging with others and doing activities in the platform kahit na 3 a.m. Imagine that. Why? Bakit? No? Why they have to do that? No, we have this space kasi in the platform where we show the leaderboards. Every time na nag-engage yung mga participants, they are earning points. Like if they post, they will earn 30. Comment, they will earn 20. If they attended a seminar, they will earn 100. And the platform automatically compute that. And if they are top performers, their photo and name will be shown as top 1, top 2, and top 3. So malaki talaga ang chance na makita o mapansin sila ng foreign buyers. And you know, hindi lang doon, there's more. Siyempre, we also have prizes for the top performers like airfare group with hotel and allowances for top 1, for top 2 naman in America, and for top 3 naman in Asia. And once you gathered, guys, this engagement data, no, you have to centralize it to make it more valuable to your participant and activate it to website activities. Next slide, please. Ayan. Website activities, mobile app, session attendance, feedback, audience, and registration. So you have to engagement ng attendees natin. Ayan. So guys, before I end this slide and before I answer your question, I just want to do this activity. And this is a game. No, this is a Ayan. Ayan. So you guys ready? Don't worry, it's an easy game and be excited because I'm gonna give 100 pesos load each for the first 3 participants who got the correct answer. So guys, for our coordinator in Facebook and in Google Meet and as well as in YouTube, ayan, please monitor kung sino yung first 3 participants na nanalo ng 100 pesos load. Okay? So when you giving a game in your event, in your virtual event, please don't forget to provide description or the mechanics. So for this game, the player will be shown the first letter of the answer. Clues will be provided through trivia and item. This is ready. One of the and the have in 1710, it starts with letter P. Is it Paway or Panay Church?
Paway?
Guys, please type your answer in the chat box. Alright. Ayan, ang daming sumagot. Thank you, guys. Make sure, guys, na nag-register kayo para alam namin how we can reach you, how we can contact you. All right, next game. Yeah, so the answer is Paway Church. Paway Church is one of the oldest churches in the Philippines, having completed its construction in 1710. It was declared as a national cultural treasure by the Philippine government in 1973 and was then included in the list of UNESCO. Ayan, next game please. Next game naman is Guess the Picture. Guys, don't forget to put your answer in the chat box. Yeah. A picture of species endemic in the Philippines will be shown to the player. The players must identify, choose the right answer from the choices provided. Yan. So, anong sagot? A. Negros strip bubbler. B. Strip trees skink. Or C. Philippine tarsier. Ayan, ang daming sumasagot. So guys, for the winners, you got 100 pesos load and we will send it to you na lang later after this webinar. So please make sure that you guys are registered so we would know how we can reach you. So all right, I hope you guys enjoy the game. No, we will be posting the winners nga in A Plus Facebook page. And to end this talk, I just want to end it with the legalities of virtual event. No, don't forget to reconsider your legal process if you are broadcasting to a wider audience. Make sure you secure clearances for music or other third-party content like clips, photos, logos, video, etc. na gagamitin mo sa event nyo, and must secure clearance for all of the uses where your content will air for however long you will be using that. So that ends my presentation. Let's get digital. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gabayes, for that clear and concise discussion about virtual events planning. I am very sure that our future generation of event planners gain some nuggets of wisdom from your talk. By the way, I like the game. Okay, now let's begin our Q&A. Shall we? Are you ready, Mr. Gabayes?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. To our participant in Google Meet, you may now type your question in the chat box. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you may now start keying your question in the comment section. By the way, because of time constraint, we will only entertain 3 questions. And now, by the way, I got someone here from Prince Steven Sanchez. Prince Steven Sanchez question is this. Is there any disadvantages if the expected people in the event is not reached? Is there any disadvantages if the expected people in the event is not reached?
There is, because the KPI event, to have the right person na magko-consume ng content mo. No, if the right person will not be attending your event at hindi sila yung targeted audiences mo, maybe hindi sila makaka-relate, maybe hindi grasp yung digital content na pinoprovide mo sa inyong event.
Okay. Now, we have another question coming from Google Meet participants again, from Mr. Montances. You may now start.
Thank you, Mr. Gavais, for sharing your expertise with us. I have a question about engaging the audience in a virtual event. How exactly do we do that, considering that we don't get to interact with them face-to-face? And in your opinion, sir, what types of events will work best to go virtual? Thank you.
That's good question actually, no. Did you know, guys, that most of event organizers have same concern with you? And I want to go back to the engagement tactic I presented earlier, no. First is yung conversation. No, it's very important to establish participation of your attendees. Talk to them, ask them through poll and question and answer. And the next is yung social feed. It's very important, no? Participants can also engage with others. It's like Facebook, where everyone can be connected, where everyone can post a photo, video, give comments or likes about your event. And then lastly is yung gamification. Guys, there's a Zoom fatigue or webinar fatigue, kaya nagpa-game ako kanina. So it's really important para ma-entertain sila at ma-enjoy nila yung webinar. And I hope, guys, you enjoyed the game earlier. Kahit saglit lang.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Another question coming from the Google participant, Miss Morales. Miss Morales, fire away.
Thank you, Miss April. Good evening, everyone. I'm Erica, and I have another question for our speaker. We know that staging digital events is new to almost everyone. What's your biggest advice to someone like us who are just starting to enter the world of event planning? Thank you.
Okay, for the startups entrepreneur, I assume guys that you already have technical know-how, no, and the basic knowledge about the events. So for me, you have to identify your niche. No, the event industry is so broad. No, kung corporate ba, kung personal events or kung sport events ba. No, if you already found your niche, be good at your profile, build your customers. Lang ang, no, quality and reputation at the industry kung startup lang kayo. Until such time that your clients, your existing clients, will refer you to other clients also. And slowly, no, slowly, dahan-dahan, diversify your services. No? I-extend mo yung services mo kung nag-wedding ka lang, then at kung sa tingin mo expert ka na at kung sa tingin mo marami ka na magiging client for event, diversify your service, no? And then follow the lead of event giants here in the Philippines until such time that you can challenge them and be the event leader of the industry. Ayan.
Hey,
I
okay.
hope I answered your question right.
Sir, there's another question coming from YouTube. Okay, let me see. Our last question will come from one of our YouTube. Miss Janina Ravara's question in YouTube. Do you personally prefer virtual events over traditional face-to-face events? If so, what are your favorite feature of virtual events?
At this moment, yes. But after the pandemic, the new normal will be a combination of live events, hybrid or virtual events. So for the purpose of today's happening in the environment, like may pandemic pa and then live event is not allowed. For virtual events, it has to have a conversation tools kung paano ka makikipag-engage sa mga participants mo, kasi it's really important to to tune mo na hindi sila mawala, kasi engagement span of the participants are very limited. Minsan there's a lot of distraction pa sa bahay nila or kung nasaan man sila. Very important to have that conversation features so that you keep touch with them and keep them excited and keep them engaged dito sa event ninyo.
Okay, sir. There's another question. This will be the last, as in last, from Toby Tyler Jose. He's asking about this. For those aspirant students listening to you right now, what particular soft skill should they hone? I think it's hone or equip themselves as early as now so they could sustain an event career. He's asking about skills to hone, sir. Sir, please open your mics.
Sorry. I understand, and you guys also understand, that events is really one of the most stressful job in the world. One of the busiest job in the world. And it's very important to have a soft skill na you can self-motivate yourself. No? Ang dami talagang ginagawa sa event, and if you don't self-motivate yourself na matutunan kung ano yung mga dapat matutunan sa events, like the strategies, the tactics, the strategies kung ano yung gagawin mo para maging disruptive yung event mo or magiging satisfying sa mga clients mo. Ano yung strategy mo na matap yung mga right audiences, no? Kailangan mo yung matutunan at kailangan mo i-motivate yung sarili mo na mag-aral. And then kapag natutunan mo na yung mga bagay na yon, you have to motivate yourself to go to your courage zone and to go out from your comfort zone. No, yung kailangan mong i-self-motivate yung sarili mo na mag-penetrate dito sa event industry. No, na kumuha ng clients, show them your skills, your talents. Yan. So it's really important to have self-motivation talaga sa events industry. Pero there's a lot of soft skills na kailangan mo rin matutunan at kailangan mo rin i-apply like leadership, communication, of course, problem solving, and then yung teamwork as well. Kasi people-centric yung event. Ayan lang.
Do you have any questions sa iba pa po ba? Okay, I think it's still. I'm afraid this is all the time we have for the Q&A portion. Thanks to all participants who convey their thoughts by asking questions. And now, on to the last speaker. Our last resource speaker has enjoyed a fulfilling career as a marketing and administration professional for more than 25 years. She has been with Manila Genesis Entertainment and Management Incorporated, the management company of Gary Valenciano, and other celebrities since the early 90s. Among the celebrities she handled were Donita Rose, Heart Evangelista, Marisol Laksa, and Giselle Tonji. Producing event is one of her passion, from wedding coordination, concert production, and other events that you can think of. You name it, she has done it all. Because of this passion, she decided to enroll in MBA program of this prestigious De La Salle University. To further widen her knowledge on online media, she also took a course in digital marketing at Digital Institute. Tonight, with great pleasure, I bring you Miss Irene Mamangon. Good to have you here, madam. Hi, madam. Madams, kindly open the speaker.
I'm sorry. Good evening. Hi, everyone. Hi. So I think you have already learned a lot of things about hybrid events, and I'm sure you are all excited to have one hybrid event in the future, right? So today I'll talk about sponsorship. So sponsorship is very important in some events. If you plan on hosting an event, you're also facing a big question. So how are you going to fund it, right? Especially producing an event is not really it's not just 5,000 or 10,000. Normally, you need a lot of funds to fund a concert. So established companies might be able to dip into a generous marketing budget, but smaller companies likely need some help. So ano yung option natin? The great financing option is to seek out sponsors. But finding sponsors very tedious, or it's a very difficult. It's like getting a job. So some of your proposals will be rejected, or sometimes no response at all. Ako parang sobrang kulit ko sa mga sponsors pag naghahanap ako ng sponsors. So well, there are few strategies you can use to make your event a more attractive sponsorship opportunity. Of course, before you can get sponsors, your event should be ready or should be attractive enough to have the opportunity to get sponsors. So let me share my all right. Okay, so a sponsorship is a marketing channel, right? It's the full term for a sponsorship is sponsorship marketing. It is a way of advertising your brand or supporting an event financially in exchange for brand exposure to highly engaged attendees. So ibig sabihin, just to in other words, you get money for the mileage that you are going to give the sponsors. So the goal is to position an event financially in exchange for brand exposure. Okay. Uh, Give me 2 minutes. All right. Okay. So the goal is to position or market a brand to a highly engaged audience through an event or a project. So it should be noted that not all events are will be enticing to potential sponsors. For example, there are like itong sinasabi kasi ako sa church minsan I will be asked to get sponsors, but normally there are some sponsors that they don't like events that are related to religion, that are kahit na sabihin pang hindi ano man to, basta minsan ayaw niya na kapag may religion, they have to be fair kasi. So and we need to change the way we think about sponsorship. Kasi minsan akala natin na kapag sponsorship, you will beg for money. No, it's actually a partnership because yes, they will give you money, but in return, you are giving them something which is higher than the money they have invested to your event. So when you can prove you offer value to them na mas mataas kesa dun sa kanilang binigay na money, then there will be a lot of sponsors to your event. But of course, finding the right sponsor is not really easy, especially for event planners who have never considered sponsorship in the first place. Kasi actually talaga mahirap talaga kumuha ng sponsors. Kaya kinakailangan yung event mo ay talagang sponsorship. So, actually, bago ko sa sponsorship marketing, I started kasi in Genesis in 1994. I started as executive assistant of Angeli Valenciano, but then graduate kasi ako ng marketing eh. So she told me, why don't you explore marketing? I thought marketing is just ad and promo or sales. It's part, but sponsorship, as I said a while ago, it is a marketing channel. It is a marketing tool. Okay? Kasi merong mga brand activations yan, merong promo. Also, it's a marketing tool. So next, ang sponsorship opportunities, if you don't see the value in event sponsorship, if you don't see the value, you'll be hard-pressed to convince a major brand to invest in your event. Siyempre, kung wala kang nakikitang value dun sa event mo, mahirapan ka to convince a sponsor to invest in your event. And not every event will be major brand worthy. Marami silang i-consider bago sila magbigay ng pera sa'yo. So, and that we will talk about that, of course. So, and these are the benefits of getting sponsors. The benefits of event sponsorship are here. First and foremost, cash flow. Siyempre, pag ang budget mo ay, especially kami, kapag kami gumagawa ng event like Gary V, I'm sure alam niyo naman kung paano mag-perform si Gary. Very person. Minsan na yung buong budget namin napupunta sa production kasi he wants to do this, he wants a ganito, and then ngayon ang director niya si Paulo, so mas lalong ang daming creative inputs na puro talaga mga mahal, expensive. But then the solution to that is get sponsors. Really, get sponsors. So that will help in the cash flow. So rarely, kasi halimbawa, for example, the budget for before pa ito, kailan ba kami last na naglagay ng concert sa Araneta? Mahina ang 6 to 8 million sa isang araw because of, mahina yon. meron kaming isang show na 12 million just because of the sound system. The sound system is not 50,000, sound system is 4 million, mga ganon. So, because of the um, yung laki ng project, kaya mas malaki din yung budget. No? So, syempre, pag malaki ang budget, ano gagawin mo? Yung ticket sales mo, itataas mo so that at least ma-cover man lang yung expenses mo. But then, hindi namin pwedeng itaas ng gusto ang tickets. Why? Kasi merong mga fans si Gary na ang kaya lang is 500 pesos. Ang kaya lang for a pero kapag may mga ano tayo, no, pag may mga Korean mga concerts, kayang gumastos ng Pilipino ng 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 for a ticket. Pero pag local, 500, hirap na hirap pa. Yun. So anyway, since hindi namin kaya sales ng ticket cost, then ang gagawin mo, you just get a sponsor so that it will help you with your cash flow. Okay? It will allow you to plan a financially viable event and keep the ticket prices down, ensuring more attendees will be able to come. Otherwise, kung hindi kami maglalagay ng sponsors, baka yung pinakataas, kasi yung pinakamataas sa Araneta, normally mga 500, baka kung hindi kami kukuha ng sponsors, baka yung pinakamataas, yung bleachers, baka 1,500. Hindi kakayanin yun ng mga ibang fans ni Gary. So, to get sponsors, okay? So, next is brand credibility. Securing known and respected brands in your organization's field to sponsor your event will lend instant credibility and likely increase registration numbers. Ano ibig sabihin nito? For example, if meron kang concert na at ang sponsor example ay Amazon, ang mag-sponsor sa iyo ay app, di ba? Yung mga Zalora, di concert mo mas tumataas kasi match yung so kinakailangan ilagay mo din yun doon kasi yung brand credibility. Halimbawa, for example lang, it's a Gary V concert and then merong gustong mag-sponsor ng liquor. Di ba? Parang, ay, bakit ganun? Si Gary yan, bakit may liquor? Hindi kasi yun sakto dun sa brands mo ni Gary. Ang brand associated with your event, mas tumataas. So, sabi namin, saan namin ilalagay? Anong gagawin namin sa... Pero, talagang gusto magbigay. Actually, naiakyat pa namin nun sa 500,000 worth of backpacks. So, ibig sabihin na namin, during that time, officially ng concert namin ay bigay namin sa UNICEF. Minsan, maglalagay ka ng beneficiary, 10% of the will go, for example, to beneficiary. Ang binigay na facts. So, at least yung cash mo, hindi masyadong bawasan mo ngayon lahat, or mali namin lahat ng sponsors kasi minsan ang ginagawa din ng sponsor, they do cash, but they want gift certificates and worth of job certificate, certificate from National Bookstore, gift certificate from different kinds. We all kasi pwede naman you just have to discuss. You just have to, ang tawag namin doon is quantify. Hindi pa pwedeng na 200,000 sponsorship bags. Hindi mo siya pwedeng ipantay doon. iba yon. Cash and 200,000 bags na worth of hindi para Apple. No. Kasi mas mababa ng konti ang value ng X deal. So, yung ibibigay mo na dun sa cash is different dun sa value na ibibigay mo kapag halimbawang X deal, which I will discuss. Appreciate it more. Media exposure. Work partners, you also get additional publicity from marketing efforts. Ako, una kuha na sponsors, especially nung wala pa ang new media or the internet, is media, which is radio, what's this, newspaper, and then so ngayon kinakailangan mo nang kumuha ng mga vlog, kinuha mo ng ganon. So working with partners, you also get additional publicity for why? Siyempre, makukunin ko ang inspirer as the sponsor sa akin. Meron pa akong exposure na mga nagbabang Philippine Daily Inquirer. So, titingnan ko yan. Kapag halimbawa kukuha ako ng sponsor, readership nila. So, ilan na nagbabasa ng Philippine Daily Inquirer per day? Meron naman yan sa meron naman nila yan. Kasi kung ilan ang piniprint nila. So, ilan ang nagbabasa, ilan ang nakikita na to, ano ang pwede kong, lahat yun. So, nag-sponsor na sila yung mga tao pang loyal, for example, Monster RX-93. Nakuha ko pa yun. Diba? Nakuha ko pa yun. So, those are the benefits of sponsor. So, cash flow, which is your budget, the brand credibility, which is it increases the value of your event. Consider X-Deal sponsorship, which is yung mga in-kind, gift certificates. And minsan for example, kami, lagi namin kinukuha, makikita nyo sa mga events namin. Sound check. Wala naman binibigay ng sponsor yon, pero nagbibigay ng major discount sa kanilang, dun sa cost. Kasi, normally kapag malaking events, for example, Araneta Coliseum, ang setup niyan mga 3 days, 4 days. So, ang binabayaran mo sa tao sobra. Pinapakain mo dun, so grabe. From the time they set up until the time na lumabas sila ulit ng Araneta, pakakainin mo yon. So, kinakailangan mo kumuha, for example, ng X-Deal food, X-Deal na discount na ganito. But of course, kinakailangan malaman mo lang ano yung mileage in return na ibibigay mo sa kanila. Okay? Ayan. Preparing to look for target sponsors. Yan na yung medyo madugo na. Paano? Ako din naman nahihirapan. I've been in this for almost 30 years. Pero mahirap pa din. Kapag sinabi sa akin na we have a concert, we have to look for sponsors. Kaya normally, kapag halimbawang namin years. So, before you look for sponsors, and even if your company want to sponsor an event, first and foremost, you have to know your event by heart. What does it mean? You have to know the strengths. You have to know the purpose of your event. You have to know what is the mission, vision of the event. You have to know the profile of your attendees who will be going to your project, to your event. Marami ba dito ang pupunta? Puro mga millennials. So that means sa kinakailangan mong kunin na sponsors, yung ang target market din nila are the millennials. Right? Sino ang profile ba ng attendees mo? Ang demographics ba nito ay nasa senior? So ibig sabihin matataas ang meron akong isang sponsor. Valentine's Day. Ang ticket prices namin is 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. So syempre hindi ako kukuha ng sponsor na ma dapat ang kukunin kong sponsor yung katulad nung ang kanilang target market are the attendees of my concert, which is pwedeng mga Chinese na kayang bumili ng 10,000, 15,000 na tickets, right? Kasi kung wala kang purchasing power, you will not be able to purchase ticket at that price. So kinakailangan ang kunin kong sponsors will be ang kanilang target market is the same thing as my target market. So pwedeng ang kunin ko is Belo kasi kung ang Belo ay sponsor ko, then ang kanyang profile market, ang target market niya are the people who can also buy yung kanilang mga derma something, mga services or whatever. Another one, pwede kong kunin ang mga realty like Ayala Land, SM, yung mga ganon. Why? Yun kasi yung target market nila eh. Yung merong pwedeng magbigay ng kaagad-agad 10,000. Ibig sabihin maraming pera yon, no? So yun ang kinakailangan, alam mo, yung profile ng attendees mo. And you cannot hindi ka pa pwedeng kumuha ng sponsors na hindi mo alam ang profile ng attendees mo. Although sa amin si Gary, ang profile ng attendees niya is very wide yung kanyang demographics. Syempre, he started 35 years ago. So that means yung mga 20s in that time, ilang taon na ngayon, magsi-60 na siguro, right? Pero meron pa din siyang mga millennials na fans. So very huge ang kanyang profile ng kanyang attendees. So kaya kinakailangan when we get sponsors, we tell them 50% of the attendees will be ganito, 20% will be ganyan. So you have to know talaga the profile of your attendees, which I know that you discussed this in your events lessons, right? So and then the unique selling proposition. Ano yung unique? Ano yung unique diyan sa ano mo? Sa event mo? Bakit ko gustong mag-sponsor ng event mo? Anong unique diyan? Pwede mong sabihin, kasi meron akong celebrity na guest na galing pa ng Korea. Yan, that's a unique selling proposition, right? Kasi ibig sabihin, masyadong masyadong malaki yung advantage mo. Ibig sabihin, maraming millennials ang pupunta Korea ang guest celebrity mo, right? So pag high profile. So and anong affiliation? For example, ito ba towards sa tourism? Ito ba towards sa ano yung unique selling proposition mo? Like halimbawa ako kapag kumukuha ako ng sponsor, ang unique selling proposition namin for which I will show it to you later. We were as part of the sponsor. For example, kapag 3 million ang sponsorship mo, meron 45 minutes na pwede mong kunin si Gary for your Christmas party or for internal event. Yun ang unique selling ko. Aside from dun sa event ko. Yung sa event ko, which is ang laki nito, it's Araneta Coliseum, you have 12,000 viewers ganun. So you have to know what is your unique selling proposition. Is it high profile? Why high profile? May celebrities ba dyan? Meron ka bang guest na guest mo ba ang ating presidente? Meron bang senator? So use your data to show the details that will prove they have something to gain by participating. Iyan mo yun na kapag halimbawang nag-participate ka, ito yung makukuha mo. You have to really know. Kaya kinakailangan you have to know your event by heart. Kasi yun ang ibebenta mong unang-una eh. Hindi pa pwedeng pag nagsasell ka na sa sponsors at sinabi sa'yo, ano ang ang demographics ng attendees. Ay, wait lang ma'am. Hindi po, pag sinend mo na ang sponsorship proposal, alam mo na kaagad kung ano ang mga po pwede mong gawin. Like ako, halimbawa, pag sinend ko ang proposal, alam ko na, tatanong ko na sa boss ko, ma'am, kapag 3 million, anong ceiling natin? Hanggang 2.5, hanggang 2.7, yung ganon. So, kapag lower than 2.7, anong gagawin natin? So, baba mo yung level ng sponsorship. So, it's like that, okay? And then, ano yung success history of event? Ano yung ginawa na ba niya to in the past? At kung ginawa na niya to in the past, ilan ang umattend sa event niya? Right? Kaya sa amin masyadong mahalaga that we always have the number kami sa Genesis. Pwede namin balikan yon yung kahit na online event, kasi since last year, online event lang kami, mga hybrid events lahat kami. So, kinakailangan alam namin ng views, ilan ang nag-sponsor, ilan ang engagements, right? Ilan talaga yung na-tap namin. You really have to check. Kaya kasi kapag ng event mo sa sponsor, sinasabi mo in the past. For example, dun sa Faith, Hope, Love, na show namin last year, April. So, ang nakuha na doon was 7 million, right? So, every time na meron ulit na meron kaming event na online, sinasabi namin yon. Event that we had, we got 7 million worth of donations. Yun eh. So you have to always, kaya kinakailangan ikaw kung nasa marketing ka, kasi kapag kumukuha ka ng sponsors, nasa marketing ka. Okay? So you have to know ano yung success history ng event ninyo. Especially now it's it's all online. So you have to know ilang viewers. Kami laging ganyan eh. O check mo kung ilan ang viewers nitong Take Me Out of the Dark. Ilan ang viewers ako sumampa ng nagsasabi si Miss Angeli, we already have this viewers dito sa niya. So those are success metrics ang tawag. So you have to know ano yung in the past para kapag so that means talagang may experience sila to handle an event and maganda yung success history nila. Okay? Kasi baka mamaya, kumukuha ka ng sponsors and then ang viewers mo is 10 lang, 15. Right? Kaya ako din, masyado akong even yung mga friends ko, mga nagwa-vlog or whatever, nag-stream, kahit minsan binubuksan ko na at least may viewers. Alam mo yun, kasi doon din pumapasok ang mga sponsors. Lalo na ngayon, right? Pag nakita ng Facebook na dami kang viewers, then pupuntahan nila yan. Pag nakita ng YouTube that you have a lot of viewers, then YouTube will email you and tell you, can we sponsor, can we put an ad in your video? Ganon. So, kasi nakikita nila yung success history ng ng in-upload mo na video or whatever. So, think about this as you work in your the mission vision, the profile, the unique selling, the high profile, the data, and the success history. Gamitin mo lahat yan to work as you work on your event strategy, as you work on your sponsorship. If you know the answers to them before you start reaching out to your brands about sponsorship, you'll be able to answer your sponsors or your clients with ease and only spend time contacting companies that align with your event. Okay? Another one, identify your target partners. Make sure that you are targeting partners that align with your brand and your event. Sinabi ko na sa inyo yan kanina, kinakailangan pareho sila. For example, si Gary is a Mac user. Mac user siya. Vo na sponsor. Kasi hindi naman niya ginagamit yun eh. So, advertising lang yan. Hindi naman niya ginagamit yun. Ang ginagamit talaga niya Mac. So, ang tatargetin ko na partner is Apple. Power Mac. Yan ang tatargetin ko na ano. Kasi yun ang mag-a-align sa brand ko at sa event ko. Kasi,